I think there should be an app on Alexa that can detect expletives. So when you're not home, you can tell when your kid has been cussing or not. And you can play it back to him and say, hey, little Sam, I heard you.
You've been saying the shit word.
Yeah, the shit word. You've been saying that.
Welcome to Idea Drop, the podcast where we talk about the things that would make money and we can't do them because we don't have enough time.
We're doing other things that make money.
Other things. So, Dustin, okay. There is a mailbag from a raving fan.
Oh.
Her name is Janelle, apparently. It's not your mom. And so I get this message, and the thought is a subscription co-working space, like a gym membership for moms and dads who need childcare.
Okay, so we're talking like a coffee shop with an adjacent childcare.
But literally, yeah, like I won't hurt your children.
Yeah,
childcare.
That's a fantastic idea. I would pay for that.
Not able to do my admin work or
no,
my
dude,
emails.
I would start a babysitting agency and literally just take all my clients there while I sit.
So you're taking a babysitting agency and you're taking a co-working space with both almost make it. They almost make it.
Yeah.
And you're going, but with their powers combined.
Absolutely.
People will just pay their subscription.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
You can sit in the other room. You can take a call. You have no shame. They have maybe like, how would you make this work? You have two staff members that take care of the babysitting. One person inside that's making all the coffee.
At least two. The rotation 7 days a week is harder than that, but
this is a great idea.
3 or 4, yeah.
This should already be existing. Does this not exist? I mean, this is McDonald's, just not bad, right?
Gyms do this, and like at Sun Oaks here in town, you can do this for $70 a month, and you can go work while your kids are getting sat. You just don't work out. You just get on your laptop in the cafe. But exclusively catered to a lot of people who just need to knock out a little bit of social and a little bit of admin work. I think it would work.
I think it would work.
Here's the great irony. My company just got a new nice, beautiful piece of real estate. We signed a 7-year lease. It was a co-working space that went bankrupt. So it's beautiful and awesome, and their business model did not work. So I
actually don't think co-working business models work very well in general.
No.
I've ran one. You've ran one.
Shout out to WeWork on Apple TV. Have you seen that yet?
No. Is it?
Oh my gosh, the whole story of WeWork, like rise and fall of WeWork.
That's interesting.
It's a mind-blowing story.
I
would watch it on Apple
TV. It's just a failed model, though, in general. It's a coffee shop.
It's easier to pull off post-coronavirus, and it is trending towards that. But it's just as bad to be early as it is to be late. So
yeah, that's a good
either
point.
way, you can't make your bills.
Yeah. No, we both ran one. Actually, you ran one, and then the ironic part is you handed it off to me, and I was running it. Do you remember this? And my greatest advice, this is terrible. I was in charge of the thing. My greatest advice to the owner was, hey, sell this thing. This is a bad idea.
Right. So you were running a venue.
Yeah, I was running a venue. I was doing multiple things. This is one aspect of the venue. And you were kind of using it for your own personal things.
I wanted it for my business. I was like, a co-working space lowers my bill on this.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No, I just don't think it works very well. You have to have great real estate, great area.
It has to be the right real estate, but also the right target client and the price point, right? Because you don't want them to quit after 3 months because you lose all your stability of the business.
It's stupid. I would go to Starbucks almost any day of the week over that.
Right.
Except for phone calls. That's the hard part.
Most people would. It's better for when you have small teams or you really want community that's consistent.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
Your turn.
Is that it for the mailbag?
Yeah, that was mailbag. I mean, I think you can make it work. I think the devil's in the details, and it probably will only work if you're obsessive about adapting to the right audience.
I think you can create a culture out of it. I think that's what would really sell. If you made it a really
commiserating parents, a culture
area.
of commiserating parents. Yeah, that would work.
Absolutely. I mean, that would work. My parents would have done this. I went to daycare centers as a kid. They would have definitely done it.
Wait, you have 0 kids. I have 5.
Yeah.
Why don't you just take 2 and we'll call it even?
No.
And then we can commiserate.
I made my choices. You made yours. I'm sleeping in the bed I made. You can have yours. I'm okay with that. Okay, dude. Really quick, we had a TikTok the other day, and people mistook it. So we were talking about we were talking about sunsets, and then one person was like, "Oh my God, we have to NFT sunsets." I think it's a terrible idea.
What?
They want to NFT sunsets. But I thought, hey, I'll pitch it to you. Do you think it would work? You take a sunset, you take a photo of it, you NFT it. It's on a specific date, specific location.
Oh, time-stamped.
Time-stamped.
No, absolutely not would it work. But is it fascinating? Hell yeah. Like it's like this is 7:59 p.m. in a beach in Kauai,
Yeah.
and nobody else can own this minute.
That's
so you
great.
own a minute of a sunset.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. No,
It
it
is
wouldn't
fascinating.
work, but it would barely work.
Dude, they're doing it. They're doing it right now with famous paintings. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so brilliant. Okay,
Yeah.
so sorry, Mr. TikTok guy, I forget your name. It's not a good idea, but follow your dreams. Okay, but I'm going to give you a good idea. Here we go. Let me think. What am I going to pitch you first? Okay, here we go. I think there should be an app on Alexa that can detect expletives. So when you're not home, you can tell when your kid has been cussing or not. And you can play it back to him and say, hey, little Sam, I
You've
heard
been
you
saying the shit word.
Yeah, the shit word. You've been saying that. I think that should exist. I would use that. Well, I wouldn't use that, but you would use
it's
that.
parental guidance, but you're recording your children. Wait, is this compliant? Is this legal?
Oh, it's your own kids. I mean, you're probably okay.
We probably don't have laws for
Alexa's
this
listening
yet, but
all
we're
the time
about to.
anyways. We know that. So why
Wow.
not just use it?
If you really,
People would buy this.
you're right. You're right. Yeah, it
$6.99
doesn't
a
matter
month.
what I personally think.
Yeah, totally.
People would buy this.
And they wouldn't even tell their kids. And then you'd say, hey, we need to have a talk. And
I
then you'd
mean,
play it
okay,
back.
so but where does it end? So now I've got cameras indoors, those Google Nest cameras. I want you to record when my kids are doing X. And I
Dude,
want
that's
you
the
to
thing.
tattle on
Everybody
them.
hates Big Brother unless they're the Big Brother.
They're the Big Brother. Yeah.
So it's putting the power back into your hands while knowing that.
Okay. I mean, is it enjoyable? For some personality,
It'd
they
be
would
fun
enjoy
for
this.
me. I would
Is
love
it doable? Heck yeah.
Oh,
it's doable.
totally.
Is it profitable? Yes.
It's so
It
profitable.
qualifies as a good idea.
I think it works.
Just not for me.
Would you do it?
I
think you
would not.
You wouldn't do it? I've heard
As a
you.
customer or start this business?
No, as a customer. Would you subscribe? I've heard you be like, hey, I wish you wouldn't say this word to your kids, which it totally
No,
makes
because
sense.
that has more to do with being present. I'm not an absent father.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But again,
No, the answer is no. I don't want a robot tattling.
All right,
We
all right,
also,
fine,
okay, hold on. We have a rule, again, 5 kids, right? So we have
yeah, how do you monitor
rules,
that?
plural. We have a few rules.
And some of them are bilingual. What do you do there? I mean,
Yeah, 3 of them are bilingual. Yeah. So we have a rule: no tattling. The only situation where you can tattle on your sibling in our house is for safety reasons, which for safety reasons makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. That's what we're going to call the app, Tattle Words.
Tattletale.
Tattletale.
And literally, it just gives you a 1-minute summary of the tattling from the week. It's Tattletale. This is it's in story format even.
Yeah.
So
Imagine listening to the back. It says
when they
expletive.
tattle on their, she stole my pen and broke it in half. Yeah, sorry, you broke the tattletale rule. She gets off scot-free.
Whoa.
So that's how it works in my family. But if it's like she stole my pen and then stabbed me in the leg, it's a safety issue. So she gets the
So
consequence.
she should be provoking him to stab him, her, so that way that she can go back to you. This is interesting.
We will adapt if they
I would
get that
so get
sophisticated.
through your parenting style.
They will when they're older, but
Yeah, I'm sure.
we'll have to adapt. But
That's funny. All right, hit me with an idea.
okay, I just wanted to do a shout out to a cool. There's a trending type of business. One of them is called Grain that I've used in the past to repair credit score. And literally, what they do is like, look, you put up the cash for us to lend back to you, and we make a small fee off of it, but we loan you your own money so that you can rebuild your credit fast, and we aggressively report positive things about you to the credit bureaus.
This is great. How much do you pay for this?
It was like a 7% of your own money type of situation.
Ooh, so it's
No, it's at a cost.
oh yeah.
But so let's say I put
if
in
you're buying a house in the
$1,000,
next-
that's only $70.
yeah.
And they're going to loan it to me, and then I'm going to pay back the money over the next 12 months, and then they're going to report aggressively to the as often as they can a positive credit. Yeah.
That's pretty great. If
Now-
I'm buying a house in 6 months, this is worth every penny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The other credit rebuilding programs I looked into.
There's some unethical ones out
borderline
there.
unethical.
They
right.
delete history from you, right?
Yeah, or they
make the
send
trail-
out lawyer letters. One of them is like, you pay us. So unfortunately, I almost went bankrupt in 2017. So I have to repair that. And it's been a build out of it, right? So luckily, I'm pretty much out. But it was sad. What I learned in the process was there is a company that will send legal letters, very threatening legal letters to all of your creditors saying, you've improperly reported data on me, which is against this law, this law, this law, and this law. Unless you can prove it in the next 90 days by mailing letter to this courthouse.
I've seen this.
Yeah. And it felt really unethical because I'm like, no, I literally didn't pay that bill. I was going bankrupt and I can't do it.
Dude,
So
but like bankruptcy though, what do you think about bankruptcy? Because
you mean the one get out of jail free card?
You get one in your whole life. You get one get out of jail.
You get one good one. You get more like follow. They're just not as good terms. But your first one, okay, people need to know this. When my buddy Chris, he's on episode 3 or something, or I think we called it
like
13.
It's 16 or something.
Chris,
it's kind of weird.
Look, type in Chris and go look at Chris's episode. When I met him, he was being sued for like upwards of $20 million.
Classic.
And like he had signed a personal guarantee on loans that his business, basically used on these real estate properties. But the business went under because it was an oil-based revenue stream and the oil industry tanked. So basically, he loses big oil clients all at once, then loses his real estate business because of that. And then they want their loan money. So they're like, hey, okay, what's the next step? Next step is to sue Chris because the company got dissolved. Chris is all that remains. Mm-hmm. So I met him going through that. It blew my mind how calm he was and how creative he was and how like character driven he was. He still had great integrity.
He didn't go bankrupt though, right? That was the thing. That was the thing that blew my mind. I remember asking him.
I think he settled them all and renegotiated them all before he had to.
Which blew my mind because my solution would have been, let's go bankrupt.
Right. And he was weighing the two. So I can't remember exactly, but what you can do. So he had like a very large lodge that he lived in with his family in Alaska, and they owned it as their personal residence. And you get to keep up to like, if you're married with kids, I think it's $300K or something of the equity in your house. So they had a loan on it. And so they just got to keep their equity in their house and keep their house through a bankruptcy. So yeah, everything else goes belly up, but you don't lose your house and you keep the equity up to a certain amount of equity. So it's like a get out of jail free card. Yeah. Anyways, people need to know.
One day I should do it.
No,
that's my aspiration. That's what I should do.
The goal. That's the parachute.
That's a terrible idea. Oh gosh, that's funny. All right, Kendall, here we go. I want a digital political candidate. I want one person who's going to run in politics, and he says, hey, whatever the popular vote is on this app that you send in, I'm going to vote in that direction, no matter what the issue. I am truly the voice of the people.
Literally neutral, literally voting, literal democracy by the actual numbers.
He's a vessel. Yeah.
What do people say? We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic.
Yeah, something like that.
So this is, I will actually deliver you democracy.
Yeah. It's radical compliance with also operating within the...
Wait, how does this business make money? This is a good idea, but how does this make money?
I don't know if it makes money at all. I think it's
lobbyists?
Just fun.
Okay.
No, you could... I mean, I'm sure run
You're
ads
just
on the
saying
platform.
This is how I would win as a candidate.
Totally. I think it'd be so freaking awesome. I want to see that. But I'm afraid that it could be hackable. That's the only concern I have. Which...
Sure
it could be.
It is hackable. But it doesn't mean he wouldn't win or she. Oh my gosh. This is terrible.
Yeah, it's great.
That's
isn't it?
terrible.
No, it's not terrible at all. Think about it. It's popular vote, but you've actually made it happen.
Great idea. It can't. I can't believe that would work.
All right, let's go back to our legal ideas. Let's do that. Oh, it's probably legal, actually. I think it is legal. How could there be a law against that?
Okay. Okay. You know how we've been getting into podcasting and suddenly we're on TikTok?
Yeah.
Which has been weird.
Mm-hmm.
I used to complain about TikTok, but now apparently that's outgrowing Instagram and YouTube aggressively.
Yeah, dramatically. Yeah.
Well, it's made us big podcast nerds. And so in my networking or in my, business groups, I ran across somebody who literally their business is reinventing the modern studio.
Oh.
And they have decked out a podcast bus and they drive it to you.
How do they make money with this? That would be so much money to do.
They don't. They lose money.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be.
Bad business.
It would be a terrible business, but a really fun one. That's
I would own one as the company if it was our podcast, and we would do it in cool locations with good camera angles.
If that was your shtick, it would have to
if
be
it was your
shtick.
shtick, yeah.
But even then, you don't need it. You could. I feel so
Okay.
bad. I'm shooting this down so fast.
Scratch that last idea.
Okay.
New idea that I had when I was 18 years old and I almost did.
Yeah.
This is not an exaggeration. Our producer knew me at that age. I wanted to take a blow-up llama, a super large blow-up llama
Yeah.
around the world and do a travel blog. This is before Instagram was a thing.
Blow up llama travel blog.
Like a blow-up llama. And it's just me in a crowded Hong Kong train with a blow-up llama that's taking up all the room while other people are trying to crowd in. Me on the top of like K2 or halfway up Everest with a blow-up llama. Me in the middle of London. But it was just to cause a ruckus because at that time, things were going viral if they were like funny enough.
Anything weird.
Anything weird enough went viral
Yeah.
at the time. And it was a lot harder to monetize things, but I didn't need a lot of money, right? At that time, I was single, no kids. Like, I could do whatever I want, you know? I'm just going to take my llama around the world, travel, take pictures, and document it. Somebody out there with the right, you know, oomph, they could pull off something like this. Just get a shtick, and that's the llama guy. Now, it's blow up so that you can, like, you know, shrink it down.
I hate this idea. I think it would work. I hate this idea.
You
People would
hate
watch.
that it would work.
No, I don't think it would work now. I think it would have worked then. I do think interesting people follow them. Right. Like if you can do something weird.
We don't need it that weird anymore. We need more authenticity now.
Yeah, but like you've seen the guy walking down the street with a cross on his back. That's like the best example of this, where it's like that is weird. People look.
Or
right?
like New York City. Like how many people are dressing up like Marvel characters or in their underwear or like all I have is a guitar
But
on.
weird is at this point it's almost normal. You need something even more outside the box.
True. It was just, anyways, if you're the right age and you're the right oomph.
The right. That's great. That's hilarious. Okay, that's really funny. That's pretty funny. Okay, here we go. I want a sidewalk advertising agency. They do guerrilla ads, but they do it on sidewalks. So
like in chalk or
in chalk. Literally, we'll chalk the shit out of your city. Like
so, like we're in Hollywood, right on the Avenue of the Stars.
We do it everywhere,
and we made a really beautiful chalk art piece with your logo integrated or your tagline or whatever.
Or even the cheapest thing, you could be like, hey, we're just gonna draw your
and they take photos and obviously they put them on social or whatever.
Yeah, totally. A sidewalk ad.
Oh shit, that would work.
It would work. It'd totally work.
Okay, that one would work.
I think it's great.
Good job. Well done. Okay, cheers.
It when I started. Yeah. By the way, these are great. What is this jet fuel? It's like it's punching me in the face.
These are extra sour Mai Tais from the pub down below.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Dude, hold on really
better
quick.
for the podcast and beer.
Oh yeah. Okay. Censorship. This motherfucker the other week was like he texted me about this idea, and it was just all one thing. How edgy should you make your business? So I want to ask you, Kendall, how edgy
should you
should
quantify that?
Yeah, I want like
in
what
general?
do you do? Because if you have an average business,
I think you should say all those curse words in a chain more often.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. It's like 20 years ago, everybody knew sex sells. Mm-hmm. Right? It's similar to that. Taboo causes a ruckus. It gets shared. It gets more attention. Mm-hmm. And the people who hate it, they probably wouldn't have eventually like built a relationship with your brand anyways. Eventually they would have found something they hated about you. Mm-hmm. So if you just do it up front, you endear yourself to the people that think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And you you ostracize the people that would never have bought from you anyways.
No, I think that's great.
So I think it's generally good, but I also want to be happy in my life, and I don't want a bunch of people pissed at me.
No, I think you're onto something there. Even in the comments that I put on social media, half the time I put them there just because I think people are going to get annoyed.
We're a little bit troll.
Like I want to have an opinion that you might think is wrong, but I'm okay with being wrong. But I'm even more excited.
I'm
for the
wrong
conversation.
every day.
I'm so happy you're realizing this.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right every day too.
Anyways, no, that was the question I had posed to me. My response was, I do think that there's an element of people look when it's something that's slightly outside the normal, but if it's too far out, people look away. So it's like a bikini in a coffee shop doesn't work. But something slightly in between that and normal clothes, people are curious. They want to know. Like that's like the classic example of sex sells. But using that same approach with your business, you have to kind of make it slightly above the average. Like we were looking at landing pages, you and I, the other day for starting a business that we were doing. And I'm actually really disappointed. Every freaking landing page looks the same. I don't care. I gloss over now at this point when I look at a landing page. I don't know how to make it different, but I know that there's a way, and people have to figure that out because
they do.
You're not standing
the market
out.
adapts. You know, it used to be about us, and now it's like, this is the hook, and if you scroll farther, I'm going to get to the point where here's
all
the
of my stock
almost
photos
price, but I won't tell you the price unless you book a call.
Buy our newsletter, sign up for our white page, and
Yep.
blah, blah, blah. Anyways,
So marketing evolves over time, but I do think video is is the next thing, and not just produced as well as like you don't need 4K cameras. You need
6K.
authentic. You need 6K.
I have 6K, man. That's what I do.
Not where I was going with that. You need 780p, 20p, 1080.
You need 1080.
I know numbers. No, I think that it's authenticity, and when you see the thumbnail of the video before you press play, you just need to believe you're going to get the information that you need and want, and that you can trust this person. So if you're running a business and you're like, people don't seem to trust me very often, I recommend you hire somebody that comes off as trustworthy and make them your,
That's kind of
the face of your company.
That's essentially all advertising. When you look at George
Doesn't
Clooney endorsing
Pepsi do this? I
anything.
mean, the polar
everybody
bears are
does it.
so.
We want to do
No,
it.
that's Coke.
No, it's Coke. All right,
so-
that's my idea there.
Okay, so you
Sorry
remember
for that.
Toastmasters?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Hostmasters? I think you could rip off the name of Toastmasters. So they've built a brand for 50 years. I don't know how long they've been around, but it's a long time. Many, many decades. I feel like you could just take the marketing shtick or the brand recognition of Toastmasters and go Hostmasters. And you can apply that to Airbnb coaching course. You could apply that to anything that's like a host. Like it could be like literally, I'm a website host. Like you just rip off someone else's long-standing brand recognition. You change one letter and you just, it sounds or seems like that.
That's
and you just
the
run
point.
with it.
That's exactly it.
Who cares
You
about the
rip off
product?
one
You
letter,
ripped off
people know
somebody else's
automatically the
trust.
approach that you're doing. You stole all their advertising. It's like, have you seen?
You didn't steal it. They
dude,
still have theirs.
have you seen-
just added your own agenda to
Bro,
their.
have you seen Nathan For You?
No.
I'm coming over. Maybe even tonight. You have to see. So
No.
Nathan For You goes
You
around
can't come over tonight. You're not welcome.
tomorrow night. We need to get sushi anyways. So
Okay.
we can just do it there. So Nathan For You, he gives businesses that are failing bad business advice. So and then he helps them save their business. Like for example, this is a
Is
really
this
quick
like
story.
a filmed or something?
Oh, it's so funny, man. He's like he helps failing businesses. Like there's a pet
It's a YouTube channel? What is it?
it's on Netflix, I think. I don't know.
Netflix?
I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Like for example, here's a really quick example, then I'll tell you what I'm thinking. There was a pet store that was failing, so he was like, "Oh, then we should advertise in a pet cemetery." So he buys a fly, lets the fly die, buries it in the cemetery with the most gaudy headstone, and it's just need a new pet, and it's just advertised. Like it's the stupidest, weirdest
He
things.
put advertising
Yeah,
in a
in a
pet
cemetery.
cemetery.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it's genius,
it's-
but dumb. It's dumb
Dumb
and genius.
geniuses.
But anyways, so what he did was this coffee shop was failing. So he's like, oh, this is great. We're going to rebrand this Starbucks. We're going to rebrand it as a Starbucks, but we're going to call it Dumb Starbucks. So every order was identical to Starbucks, but just with the word dumb preceding
This is a
everything.
dumb vanilla latte.
Yeah.
Dumb iced coffee.
And it went viral. And they made so much money. And then they got sued. But
Yeah.
I don't think it worked because there's
Lawsuits are hard to enforce.
Yeah. So, but like it totally worked. But
Hard to
they
win.
stole the notoriety of one business and just tacked it onto theirs. It's like, yeah, we did that.
That is so funny.
It's great.
Okay. Is it doable? Yes. Is it
Yes.
profitable? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it enjoyable? Personality dependent.
Yeah.
It just depends on who you
Sure.
are. I would not do that business.
Sure.
But somebody out there would.
Absolutely. That's funny. Okay. Let's see here. Here's one. Clear ice machine. This is a big deal for whiskey aficionados.
Okay.
You have like a small little lunchbox size thing. You put it on your counter. It freezes ice in a way that's kind of hard to do, that it is perfectly see-through. If you put your ice in your freezer,
How does
it's
that
not
work?
see-through.
Do you know how that works?
I have a friend who's really into it. He has to like put water in the freezer. He covers it with something. It has to freeze, I think, from the bottom up. So you
Whoa.
have to like.
So he does it manually.
He does it manually. It's a process, and he cares about it. And then he shaves it, and he like if he gives it to
So when
somebody,
you drop the ice in a glass of whiskey, you don't see the ice,
you don't see it. It's like it's
but the
beautiful.
whiskey's cold.
Yeah,
and it has a
it's
little
just
bit of-
it's this incredible look.
Interesting.
I would buy it if it was, let's say it was $75, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, this is great. It'll make 4 cubes. I just put a little bit of water in each of it, and it's perfectly see-through ice. It would be a nighttime ritual.
Yeah.
And if somebody comes over, like, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah, you want some whiskey? Here you go.
Right. Okay.
I'm surprised you haven't seen this.
I haven't seen that.
I'm gonna make
Yeah.
some see-through ice.
Wait, what's the business?
Selling a see-through ice machine. You can totally
sell
do it.
the
Freeze it from the
machines?
bottom up. Because if you put ice in a freezer, the whole environment is cold, so it
I
freezes
don't
too
like
fast.
those businesses.
Like a little
It's
product.
It's too niche with too much inventory. That's why I don't like it. Too small of a niche, inventory causes cash flow issues.
Mm-hmm.
So you have labor, you have inventory, you have delayed receipts, you have delayed like incomes.
Okay.
So anyways, cool idea. I wouldn't start that
I
business.
see blogs. Oh, here we go. There's one. He made it on Amazon. Cost $42.
$42 for a clear see-through ice machine.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna look up how much he's making from it right now.
What tool are you using to see how much?
Oh, I'm using AlgoPix. I actually don't know
AlgoPix?
how reliable it is.
.com?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
totally. And I paid the monthly subscription for it. It's cheap enough where it makes sense. Okay, here we go. Type it in it. His is just a tray that you put in the freezer, and I think it just separates it to the point where it can freeze bottom up. I believe that's how it works. This guy, according to AlgoPix, this little tool that I got, his margin's good. He's profiting about $50 off of it, so that he's thinking about.
Wait, I thought it sells for 42.
It does in America, but in ES?
Norway?
I don't know. What does ES stand for? I don't know. Somewhere else it's
ES,
selling
I
for a
don't
lot
know
more.
world
It's selling for a
currencies.
different country a lot more. Anyways,
Tell it to me in Bitcoin
he's making $65,000 a month off this.
of revenue.
Not so bad. Not so bad.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's a lot of work, though.
2 people listening to this podcast can go compete with
So
him.
dumb.
And you guys will all lose your money 4 years from now, but you'll make money for 3 years.
Okay. Tell me what they should do to make some money. Give me another idea.
Another idea. I don't know what they should do. Depends on your skill set. Okay. Our job is to surface ways you could reinvent your career or add a side hustle or take the business you're doing and maybe triple it. Like that's how I think of this podcast.
Really?
Yeah, I think like it's
I think
about
of it
your next
differently.
step.
Well,
your
keep going.
next step, which is relative to who you are.
dude, what I think of this, I
Okay,
think
tell
of
me.
this podcast is like, I beat the middle class. Because I hate the idea of middle class. Like,
Is
we
that a
talked
card
about it.
game? Beat the middle class?
No, we're making a card game. We should talk about that in a second, though. But no, I think of this job as in most jobs are so soul-sucking at some point eventually. And it's so sad to say. I don't think anybody should be bound down by one specific skill set.
Yeah.
You go crazy. Your brain atrophies. You don't want to do that. I like the variety of life, and I want to experience as much of it as I possibly can. Now, doing normal jobs, corporate jobs, business jobs, any jobs, eventually I'm like, I don't want to do this for 40 hours a week.
I think that's what, like, everybody is kind of wired to work. Everybody works. But being controlled by another human feels like wrong. Right?
Yeah.
Incentivized is great.
Totally.
Controlled is not so great.
Yeah, that's actually how I think of my work is if I can get overpaid for a short-term amount of work, I will do
That's
it.
an incentive, and it's my choice, and I want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But if
I
I'm
will-
like, hey, why were you 3 minutes late?
I
And
hate that.
I'm thinking about hiring somebody else who's cheaper than you. How does that make you feel?
It's I just
Okay, I just don't
it's
care
awful.
enough about you.
I don't like
There's
that.
no relationship. Yeah. So starting your own business gives you that, those benefits, those tertiary benefits.
No, it's beating the middle class, dude. Getting out of the rat race and saying, "Hey, I
Now, to
have
be clear,
times
in
to-"
macroeconomics, we just redefine the middle then.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, if enough of us, I don't think enough people. Okay, here's the problem
But
with
we
this.
can
Here's-
change the culture of control. That's what we can do.
Dude, well, no. Here's the problem with this podcast, though. I'll tell you this right now.
Okay.
The problem with this podcast is
crap.
people are going to listen to
Here
it,
it
and that's
comes.
going to get them feeling like, yay, I did something, but they didn't actually get out of their ass and go do something.
Get out of your ass.
Yeah, it's like it's a small salve to a big wound. You need to actually get up and say,
up,
you know what,
yeah,
screw
and go
my
do
job.
something.
I'm going to go figure this
Yeah.
out.
Right.
But that's the whole point. I
You're
think
right.
it's like getting out of that mindset and saying, hey, I
You're
can
right.
work, a little bit harder and be a little bit more creative and actually start my own business. Anyways, I'm sorry. We're making a card game. Let's make a card game.
Okay, so we're gonna pitch our card game,
Yeah.
and then like Cards Against Humanity or Apples to Apples or like these. My kids and I played Fuzzy. Is it Fuzzy Dice or Fuzzy Logic? Fuzzy Logic was the card game we played last night. Fun card games where it's just very simple. The rules of engagement are very clear, but catalysts, you flip over a card and it's like a little bit spicy, and that's fun to hang out like that. Dustin and I want to make a card game. We're thinking about calling it Windfalls. And the point of Windfalls is you need to beat the other players of the game to success. But the definition of success is relative to the identity card you were dealt at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So you have a secret objective. So for example, if your identity is a plumber, you might want to hire a protege to run everything for you and just have passive income by the time you're 50 and to have no stress really, but you have modest means, but you have a simple life and you like it and you never had to mess around. You can go be a libertarian in the woods. That might be your secret objective. If you're an investment banker, your objective might be like, I need to make $4 million and then I need to buy enough passive income assets to where I just am rich and I feel powerful and I rose to the top of my game. If you're the nurse practitioner, you need to marry a policeman and not get divorced. There's objectives.
No, it's great. It's great.
There's objectives that are secret. So we'd have these little spicy, like secret objectives.
Or you could be the CEO and your goal is to employ all of your friends in the game. Every single one of the persons there has to be working
Everybody else in the game has to be working
now,
for
you don't care about your quality of life. You could be working
turn.
80
If you keep them working for one turn, you win the game immediately.
Yeah.
Love that one. Or if you are the guerrilla entrepreneur, your goal is to work 30 minutes a week. But you make $3,000 a month and you live in the Philippines.
You can't do 30 minutes. That's impossible.
No,
there
can
are
get
people.
there.
There are people.
Yeah, I know people who write scripts and get there. So the thought is every round we go around the game, you flip over an opportunity card. And the opportunity card, everybody has a chance to respond to the opportunity card. Here's what I want to do based on that opportunity. So the opportunity is, hey, Tesla started a new company and they need VPs. Do you apply? Here's the annual salary.
And you have an odds of getting it.
Yep. And there's a dice but based on your secret identity card, that tells you like, oh, I don't want that job, but I want these schmucks to think I want that job.
Yeah.
Chances are the dice roll, I won't get the job. So I do need to apply. Like you'll have these spicy choices.
Or it can be like reverse opportunities where it's like, hey, a prince from Nigeria sent you an email. Do you want to give him $10,000? And like 1 in 30 odds.
No, it's only $100.
It's only $100.
But if he really is a prince, you cash out 10 million.
Yeah. Maybe he is a prince.
But it's a 1 in 36 odd.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you have to roll snake eyes for it to cash out.
I want to say it's been really fun making this game so far.
I like it.
It's like thinking about life and how to leverage the positions you're into doing it. I'm excited for it.
Yep. I do. I kind of talk to my kids. Like it's all personality dependent, but I talk to my kids a lot about how to kind of align what they're already feeling good at and what they like, and then look at kind of the market and say, well, who pays for that? That's how you backwards engineer. You go like, I like these things. Who pays a lot of money for that? Like, I don't care who I work for if I get to do what I do, right? I mean, there's some integrity outliers, but in general, I'm just looking for a buyer of the thing I want to do, as opposed to my mom and dad told me what I should do. And that's the millennial generation. They told us what we should do, and we didn't like that. We didn't like the boomer life. We didn't want that Gen X life. We wanted our own terms. And we made a lot of messes trying to pursue that.
That is true.
And it's a lot of entitlement is the cost. But there are people who are starting to get like, oh, I'm happy with where I ended up. A lot of other people who missed the boat and they're suffering. So I want to help people find their next steps.
I like that. How much should we sell this card game for?
$30.
$30.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you think that's a good price point, or
little.
actually, if you have any ideas about the card game, please hit us up because we're trying to make it as realistic to life as possible without.
We need some creative ideas without offending too many people.
That's the big issue right there.
We can offend like 10% of people, but not 50%. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, I'll give you one more idea. You can give me one more idea.
Sounds good.
Do you want my Amazon idea or my drone idea?
Drones.
Okay. I work on fires every now and again. They have a lot of people there. Here's what I think they should have. I think they should have drone ops that go out to the different fire locations and measure real-time analytics of the fires.
Like the width and the depth of the fire, like how big.
Oh, I'm thinking about wind speed. I'm thinking about temperature. Yeah. I want like all of that stuff. Now, let me tell you, there is a lot of money in fires because it's an emergency and they need you to be there on a moment's notice. So if somebody can do this, they will pay for real-time analytics because you're saving literal lives.
Right.
Like
literally,
there's no dollar amount that they won't spend, and they shouldn't. Like it's worth it. It's just worth whatever it takes to develop this idea. I think it's interesting and it's extremely doable.
And it's extremely doable.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It fails my test because it sounds not enjoyable.
What? It'd be so fun, man. You're driving out to these really cool locations. You're getting up in the sky. You're in a safe spot. You're at least a mile away because drones can go that far.
So you're talking about being the services provider. Yeah, being the employee would be fun.
Oh, so fun.
But owning that business sounds so stressful. I'm dealing with bureaucracy and governments. I've got to sell to government entities. I like the cash flow terms on that are hard. The politics like is subtle and you don't always know what you're dealing with or who's behind the funding for which. It gets
politics.
Messy.
It's not that messy.
It's a good business that I wouldn't want to start.
All right, fine. Hit me with your business.
Because there are more fun ways to make money. Okay, so I think I'm going to go down to pick a number between 90 and 145.
98.
Okay. That was Handyman monthly subscription. Damn
nice. It. Oh, okay. Let's do 130.
Okay, 130. Okay. It's the Uber for lawn mowing. So this is essentially an app that you're like, I need my lawn mowed now. And any kid with a truck and a mower can just come mow my lawn for the money that I pay the app right now. They don't have to knock on my door. They just have to look at the picture of what I want mowed and do it. And they need to do it in the next hour or two. The platform would make money. The kid would make money.
I'm stuck on it, man. I've got so many variables in my mind. Okay, number one, why wouldn't I just you hire a guy to do it monthly? Now, number two,
you got to call that guy. And you got to pay every month.
You got to set it up.
What if I'm just annoyed today?
Oh, dude, I do last minute things all the time. Oh, we have friends coming over. Can you get the lawn real quick? I can't. And clean the dishes. I can't do both.
No. I'm going to do dishes and I'm going to Uber the lawn guy.
Yeah. Oh, I want to Uber the dishes. I'd rather do the lawn, but
I don't want them in my house. Sorry.
Yeah. Some teenage greasy kid.
I don't know.
You can be greasy on my lawn. That's fine.
What's greasy about the kid?
Some teenage. I'm imagining some college kid shows up with pizza in his hand.
Pizza. In his hand and his hair.
Yeah, in his hair. Absolutely. Okay. A long time ago, you talked about an automated lawn mowing.
That was different, right? That had to do with robots. Yep. You picked 130.
Yeah. I think it would work. I don't think it would work well. I think it would work.
I wouldn't enjoy building this business.
Here's what. Oh, it'd be a terrible business to build. But here's what you could do. You could take your handyman idea. Just do an Uber for handyman services. One of them happens to be lawn mowing.
I don't like diluting marketing like that. That dilutes marketing. Marketing doesn't. It's more expensive when you have a broad
lawn care,
market.
hedge trimming. You got to do more than just lawn mowing.
Do you?
Maybe. Lawn-mowing's kind of hard for a college kid.
Think about how many millions or 100 million families out there need. Yeah, it's big enough market. You can go niche.
What do we have? Lawns in Reading? We have 50,000.
Because then you just need a mower.
Yeah.
And the price gets to be cheap.
It's not going to fit my car, but...
No, it fits in the trunk of most sedans. I used to do this in my Toyota Camry. 1993 Toyota. Yeah. I'd fold it up, put it in the trunk of my 1993 Toyota Camry.
Okay, I would not start this business.
Yeah.
I would use this business.
Right. I would as a customer. I wouldn't start the platform.
It would have to be enough.
I wouldn't do the work.
I would pay $35 for this to happen at my house. I would not pay $50.
I would pay for the small lawn in the front yard. I'd pay $25.
Yeah. So, yeah. My front lawn is
depends
about
on
the same
size, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I have seen a plug-in with Google's API for Google Satellite or whatever it is, Google Earth, and you can get the like square footage or square yardage of a given section of land. So it could detect the color green. You can write, you could make a software collect, like it says, oh, this is the lawn size.
Yeah.
And it just price based on lawn size. And then it throws it out as software.
Cool. I like
Maybe
that.
a cool feature.
Nice.
But that's
nice.
just a feature. That's just either way. Good idea for somebody else.
No, I'm trying to think, like, if I was a college kid, I would want to start this business, but I would want it to be online. I want to figure out a way to, like...
No, you can't start this as a college student. This is like a VC-backed SaaS company. This is starting the Uber of this.
Okay.
I wouldn't think about this as a college student. That's just the guy who makes some money.
I'm not going to start this business. I hate this idea. I won't do it. I think it's...
I don't blame
I think it would work. I don't want to do it.
Amen.
That's it. That's totally it. Anyways, that's all I got. You got anything else?
All right. No, let's land the ship. So if you like today's episode... please subscribe. We have too many TikTok followers too fast, so please go to YouTube or Instagram or something else and find Idea Drop Podcast.
Absolutely. Give it a listen and a like, and actually tell us what you want to hear more of.
I also want some reviews on Apple Podcasts, please.
Come on, we can
5
pay
stars
for those.
only. No, don't pay for those. Dustin's an idiot. See ya.
Anyway, give us a listen anywhere you hear podcasts.